If there's one thing a status quo season proved for the Houston Texans in 2024, it's that with this coach and this quarterback, they can even win when they aren't at their best. And to me, that's what it takes for a franchise to take the next step. Could that be where the Texans are headed? Well, let's find out as we begin our final week of NFL previews with number 25 of 32 here on the Detitude podcast as we begin the AFC South. One area that can't be debated is that the hire of DeMeco Ryans a couple of years ago changed the mentality of these Texans, and it quickly showed. For just the second time in the history of this franchise, they won a playoff game in back-to-back seasons. So can they do it for the first time ever in 3 straight years? Don't go too far yet. They'll need quarterback CJ Stroud to get back on the growth train, as he seemed to stall a little bit last year. Houston ranked just 22nd in the NFL in overall offense, and we're 21st in passing yards per game. Now, part of it was because the team suffered some big-time injuries at wide receiver, and one that could potentially last all the way through 2025. His 25-year-old Tank Dell is still recovering from a tear of his ACL, MCL, and he has a fractured knee. Nico Collins has way overperformed his position and as a third-round pick from 2021, but he hasn't started more than 12 games in any of his 4 injury-plagued seasons. And despite playing in 12 games in 2024, he still had 1,006 yards receiving. The Texans already will begin 2025 with a major injury issue, at running back, as Joe Mixon is going to start the regular season on the PUP list with an injured ankle. He saw a resurgence to his career in Houston with more than 1,300 yards of total offense and 12 touchdowns. But the rise in the Texans' defense was more important than the offense continuing to step up. In 2022, this unit was 30th in the NFL under Lovie Smith before jumping to 14th in Ryan's first season as coach. Then last year, Houston was 6th. Can they find a way to take that next step? This year, they'll go to Baltimore in week 5 and play Buffalo and at Kansas City in 2 out of 3 weeks in late November and early December. Now, they're only away from home in consecutive weeks once all season, and that's not until playing at Indy on November 30th in the aforementioned game in KC. They'll finish with 3 or 4 games at home. All 3 of those, they should be favored, and that's why I think these Houston Texans cruise to another AFC South championship. But with that, while I don't necessarily love it, I am taking the over here. They absolutely could go 6-0 in division play, and the rest of that schedule is tough, but doable. The bigger question is, can they actually be a threat to the Baltimores, to the Buffaloes, to the Kansas Cities, and the AFC? I'm not sure I'm ready to go just that far yet.